Every one of us was created for relationship. We are social beings. No man is an island, as I say. But it is important for us that in the course of life, as we relate with people, it is important for us to define our relationships and to know what we are into. We use the term friendship loosely to refer to the people that we interact with, whether on a casual basis, people we just meet along the way, or even people maybe we are deeply related with. But I want us to define the relationships in our lives. And in this video, and maybe the next two, we'll be able to do that. My name is Mwai, a pastor with Christ Easy Answer Ministries, and thank you so much for tuning in. So relationships or friendships, as I've already said, we use the term friendship loosely, generally to refer to the relationships that we have in our lives. Now, depending on who you refer to, depending on what you read, there are different ways of defining different relationships. But I'll just take about three different kinds of relationships that you find in a lot of literature. And one of them is constituents. I mean, the people in our lives, some of them are constituents, others are comrades. And then finally, there are those who are confidants. But I want to add a fourth one rather. And the fourth one is cousins. Cousins. Yes, you heard me right. Cousins. Let's begin by maybe defining what constituents are, because all of us have constituents. See, we all work somewhere, or maybe you go to school somewhere, in an institution somewhere, you go to church somewhere. And as a result, we get to interact with all kinds of people, and we form some kind of loose relationships. Those people would be considered your constituents because they are in and out of your life. You don't really rely much on them. You don't expect too much from them. If you are in trouble, you will probably not really call them. You don't expect them to call you. You don't expect them to follow up on you. There are certain things you can't share with them. You can't really confide in them because they are your constituents. They come and go. You relate with them when you meet, but once that moment is done, they go there wherever they are going and do their own thing, and then you move on to the next thing. And all of us have constituents. As I've already said, whether it's in the workplace, your work colleagues, or probably out in your neighborhood, or maybe also in your institution, maybe you're a student, all of us have constituents. But let's look at the second category of people that we refer to as friends. These are comrades. Now, comrades are people who connect with you because of a common cause. Maybe you're fighting a certain cause together. They identify with you. Maybe you have a common enemy, for instance. In the recent while, we've seen so many people coming together, especially here in Kenya, fighting against injustice, and they become comrades because they're fighting against something. But they are not necessarily, their relationship is not necessarily deep, because once the cause is done, whatever they're fighting or whatever they're doing together, once it is done, the thing that brought them together, once it is done, they just go their separate ways. So that relationship is only defined by the cause that they are fighting for, or the cause that they are representing, or the cause that brought them together. It may be a good cause, it may be a bad cause. Sometimes you'll even find people come together to commit a crime, for example. Those can actually be referred to as comrades. But with comrades, you really don't trust them. You really don't open your heart to them. You don't expect much out of them. If you're in trouble, you'll probably never go to them, because they are that category as comrades. Now, before we look at the last two, and we'll be able to look at those two in the next video, it is important for you to note that it is important for you to define your relationships. Because sometimes when we get our lines crossed, we do not know whether this is a comrade or this is a constituent. We don't know the depth or the length that we can go with a particular person. Sometimes we get frustrated, we get disappointed, and in the process sometimes we actually get hurt because we did not define our relationships with the people around us. Join me in the next video as we look at the next two, and the next two will be confidence, but also the one that I've added, cousins. If this is helpful to you, please share it with somebody. And until next time, God bless you.